A lot to cheer about. Coming up against another unbeaten team, 3-0 Edmonton. They were basement dwellers all of last season, but oh, how times have changed.
What a catch! Did you see that? Touchdown! Very dangerous! Gonna go the distance! Touchdown!
Having almost reached or tied last season's win totals, the Eskimos and Bombers clash in a Week 4 battle. It's 3-0 Edmonton.
Riley got moving again! Touchdown!
Versus 3-0 Winnipeg.
Drew Willie stretches it out, and absolutely spectacular catch.
The CFL on TSN is next. It's a game of unbeatens with two of the top 3 rated quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League so far. Mike Riley of the Edmonton Eskimos, who is just behind Drew Willie of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, a backup to Darian Durant last year, and starting in the CFL certainly looks good on him as well. As we say hello and welcome you back inside our CFL on TSN Studios. Rod Smith along with Dave Naylor tonight, Milt Stiegel, and Paul LaPolice as well. Well, when you consider that the Edmonton Eskimos can match their win total of last year if they get a victory tonight, then you think that Winnipeg already has. They can actually exceed it. They were 3-15 a year ago. For all the talk of quarterbacks, this is intriguing. That Edmonton defense, one of the top defenses so far, Milt, against Drew Willie and that Bomber offense.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tough call for this Winnipeg offense, particularly that offensive line. You know, they've given up 10 sacks. They're 3-0, but they've given up 10 sacks, and Drew Willie's been hit and hurt a couple other times. You know this the Edmonton's defense, what they do. Chris Jones, he's going to blitz everybody. He may even blitz a couple of times. So that Winnipeg offensive line, they need to have a great game if they want to have a chance of winning, Paul.
Yeah, you know, what I really love about this team is this team finds a way to win. I know that's a cliche term, but let's take you back week 2 against Ottawa. You know, Ottawa kicks a field goal to go up by 8 in the 4th quarter. What happens next play? Damon Washington returns a kickoff return for a touchdown, and that puts them in a position to win the game. Last week, guys, 2 defensive scores for touchdowns puts them in a position that, you know, when they're facing a tough offense, struggling a little bit, that's how they got the win. Now, in the CFL, only two teams have 2 games where the team's lost turnover margin. Winnipeg, they've won both games.
And we talked about the good young quarterbacks, Dave. What's most interesting tidbit you'd bring to this about the surprises that these teams are 3-0?
Well, both Mike Riley and Drew Willie were backups in other teams, and the Bombers and the Eskimos went out and said, we're going to get somebody else's backup and make him our starter. That is not something that always works in professional football because you're bringing a guy to a different environment, different coaching staff, different system. The adaptation can sometimes be a very difficult process, but with both of these examples, these teams have paid off.
And they certainly look like they're here to stay. I mean, impressive starts in the first 3 games. One team's going to 4-0. The other one facing its first loss of the season, introducing the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at home. And a big raucous crowd.
Last year went 7-29 in the Canadian Football League, but now they fight for first place and to become the team to go to 4-0 this year.
A lot of talk about the quarterbacks for both teams. Why not? This kid's lighting it up. They went all in on Drew Willie during the offseason, and it's paying off dividends for the Blue Bombers early. This guy, he proved his mettle last year, going 4-14, showing his toughness this year. He's riding some of that toughness and reaping some of those rewards from laying down a foundation.
The 2 head coaches know each other well. They work together for the Toronto Argonauts. Chris Jones, his first time as a Canadian Football League head coach, has his team off to a 3-0 start, as does Michael O'Shea on the Winnipeg sideline. So the Bombers have already equaled their win total from last year. Edmonton can do so with a win tonight. First time since 1961 that these 2 teams have faced each other with 3-0 records. Harris Cotton back deep to receive along with Damon Washington. And Grant Shaw kicks things off for Edmonton. This is caught from the 5-yard line. Dropped the football for a moment, now stumbles. And Cotton's in some deep trouble here and gets buried inside the 5-yard line. The special teams tackle by Edmonton's Dion Lacey. So tough field position for the Bombers to start with. Starters to watch are brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard.
Yeah, Drew Willie, a lot of talk about him, justifiably so. He's going to hand the rock to that young man right there, Nick Grigsby, who's been a lethal weapon for him, two-way player. And Fiota Godino, this guy simply had a career game last week in Montreal's hometown, catching the game winner late in that football game.
So the Bombers will start at their own 9-yard line. And on first down, Drew Willie gives off to Nick Grigsby. And Grigsby, who rushed 99 yards last week, faces this Edmonton defense.
Yeah, and that's a great defense, too. Starts with those big guys in the middle. Mondo Sewell, 5 sacks in the season already, 3 last week. Randy Curran displaces J.C. Sherritt this year, and I tell you, he's a tackle player. Comes downhill like nobody. Patrick Watkins, thievery on the corner extraordinaire.
He was forward, 2nd and 6. And Willie to throw for the first time. Looks over the top for Nick Moore, but the pass over his head. The coverage provided by Otha Foster. We welcome viewers in the United States on ESPN2 tonight as well, as you see these two undefeated teams face off. And the news for Winnipeg in the warm-up was that punter Mike Renaud was injured, so Blair Pyrolahu, who is the rookie kicker for the Bombers, will have to also perform the punting duties for the first time in his Canadian Football League career. He did punt at the University of Western Ontario last year. This is a good kick. Back to the 50-yard line. It chases Jamal Miles. Flags are down as Miles finds a seam, gets into Winnipeg territory. Brought down to the 48-yard line by Winnipeg's Des Ledon. Next referee is Tom Valesi. It appears that those return is going to come back.
Holding Edmonton number 27 during the return. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Holding call on Mike Dugasson of the Edmonton Eskimos. So you see Mike Renaud there on the right, who was shaken up in the warm-up, passing on some tips to Blair Pyrolahu.
And talk to Mike Waltz, general manager for the Bombers, and he's got no problem with this. They expect Pyrolahu to be a 3-way kicker for him before too long.
On first down, Riley back to throw, looking over the top, has a man, Fred Stamps, dives for it, and it's out of his reach. And back there on the coverage for Winnipeg was Matt Buckner.
Well, I like the guy on the left big time. I liked him when he was a BC Lion. I like him even more as an Eskimo. Mike Riley, natural-born leader. His go-to target has been a Darius Bowman, not the receiver he just missed on, Fred Stamps, who's perennially the guy. But this guy right next to him, John White, gives him a chance. Gives him a chance to throw the rock down the field. Gives him a chance out of the backfield and run it between the tackles as well. He's a multi-passing running back for the Eskimos.
Now on second down, Riley gets flushed out, has some room. A long way to go. Riley spins back in, dives ahead, and may have a first down as he reaches the midfield stripe. A little shake and bake by Riley on Buckner at the corner.
That's a big man coming around the corner, too. A 6'3", 235, put on a 25 pounds during the offseason. Went light last year, but he took a beating, wanted to get bigger to take that beating and to do this. Lay some hits on some would-be tacklers, as he did just there.
He's just short of a first down, about a half a yard. The Eskimos will bring in the short yardage team. Pat White comes on. The Eskimos have punted on their opening possession in each of their first 3 games this season.
Pat White plays on teams, comes in these situations. Talented young man from West Virginia.
And White dives across the midfield stripe, and the drive will continue for the Edmonton Eskimos.
I think he was closing his eyes on that quarterback's feet, Gordon. I'm just saying. This guy right here, Ian Wild, middle linebacker for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, straight up professional. This guy attacks the game. Fun to watch. Keep an eye on him, folks. Chris Randall, corner, can't get enough praise from his head coach, Mike O'Shea. Says he's a consummate professional. It's fun to watch work during practice every day. And Damon Washington, the guy that is multifaceted return game, and he's a lockdown defensive back.
Different look on the formation by the Eskimos. The toss goes off to John White. He's bottled up for a gain of 2. By the way, Winnipeg forced Montreal 2 and out 9 times in that win last week.
They got to keep that deep offense on the field, particularly when they're hot, scoring 38.3 points a ball game. On pace to obliterate the club record of 36-4 back in Glenboard, 1994.
Riley on second down. Has room to run again, and Riley dives back to the middle of the field and takes a whack at the end of the play from Jason Vega. But he's marked down at the 43-yard line, a 9-yard gain, and again the sticks will move. It's an Edmonton first down.
Yeah, defensive secondary for the Bombers is forcing Riley to do this. They've got everybody in lockdown mode in the back end, so Mike's having to pull the ball down and make things happen with his legs. And he's got no problem doing that. Rushed for over 700 yards last year, showing you he's good to go again this year.
He took a beating last year in that 4-14 season. Now flags are down. And noise will be a factor in this stadium.
Procedure. Edmonton number 65. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
Roots here at the left guard spot is called for procedure. So the Eskimos are pushed back to the Winnipeg 48.
That's something to watch this ball game, particularly as the game goes on and crowd gets into it, everybody gets situated. This place gets extremely loud. Edmonton has worked really hard on different cadences from Riley and sonic count. They didn't have a count all week long, they went sonic count all week, anticipating the North.
First and 50, and Riley dropped back in Edmonton territory as he is sacked by Zach Anderson, who's got his second of the year.
Zach Anderson drawn in. He's healthy. Here's Zach right here. Watch what he does. Folks, this guy's got tree trunks for legs, and he comes and he gets a head of steam going in the right direction as he shows you there. Little inside rip move. There's no stopping him. It's like a steamroller. You can't get a beat in how big those legs. He's got calves that are as big as most people's thighs.
Now second and 24. Here comes the rush again. Shovel pass by Riley. And taken ahead for almost no gain of the play by Edmonton's A.J. Guyton, and the Eskimos, after an eventful opening series, will once again be forced to punt. They were as deep as the 38-yard line before penalties and sacks pushed them back. And Shaw with a high tumbling kick to Damon Washington, lets it bounce inside the 15. The Eskimos and Bombers, 2-3-0 teams. Who was injured? Here's Sarah Orlesky with more.
Yeah, it certainly was a surprise, obviously, Gord. Mike Renaud suffering a hamstring injury during warm-up. So as you had mentioned, Lirim Hajrullahu will handle all kicking duties for the team. It's been a rough start so far for Renaud to this season. He dealt with an injury during training camp and now here in week 4 with the hamstring. He has been, though, in constant communication on the sidelines here with Lirim as he tries to give him advice. Hajrullahu did punt during university, but because of the aggressive philosophy of Western, it is a small sample size, so we will see how he does tonight.
First down now for the Bombers from their own 18-yard line. Odell Willis has got it. It's a touchdown, Edmonton. And just like that, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who have feasted on the opposition with defensive touchdowns, give one up, and there's flags at the end of this play. A 16-yard return by Odell Willis. And the Eskimos are on the board first. The penalties came well after Willis had reached the end zone. So Odell Willis,
after the touchdown, objectionable conduct, Edmonton number 41. Will apply that penalty on the kickoff.
So Willis called for the taunting penalty after the touchdown.
Odell Willis reads it, Grigsby can't hang on to it. Ball's jumping in the air, and it's a walk-in. 9th interception for the Eskimos on the year, and they capitalized early. And I was scratching my head. They won the coin toss, deferred to the second half in perfect conditions here, and I was scratching my head as to why. As a quarterback, I'd be a little upset with that, but their defense is certainly taking over field position, putting points on the board early.
Edmonton leads the league now in giveaway takeaway category at +10. Odell Willis, a 16.
And he's what they've been doing the first 3 weeks of the season, taking the football, putting it in the end zone.
Here's Paris Cotton. Again, they got the kickoff as Cotton collided there with Damon Washington, and this time Cotton gets up to the 28-yard line. So the 2 kickoffs by Edmonton have been adventures so far for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Nick Grigsby is known for his ability to catch the ball in the backfield. He's going to just run a swing route. Odell Willis, he's right here. He's just going to play it, see contain, read the play, and be in position in case the ball does pop up. It's exactly what Nick Grigsby does for Odell, and he says, thank you. Walks him in the end zone. Doesn't get much easier than that. Got to squeeze that. Would have been a hellacious collision right there, hitting if he had. I think that's what Grigsby was thinking about.
Now Grigsby back to the ground. Gets out to the 30-yard line. Grigsby a gain of about 2.
Yeah, you got to keep him involved in the game. Move on to the next one. Let that one go. Move on to the next series. And be productive, which he has been first 3 weeks in the season. 2nd leading rusher in the league coming into tonight's ball game. Grigsby's a 2-way player, as I mentioned. They really like him out of the backfield, but we didn't get to see that in that attempted swing pass.
Now on 2nd and long, and the pass by Drew Willie is batted at the line of scrimmage. As though Willie Jefferson got a hand on that, and so the Blue Bombers once again will have to punt.
This is something that you're going to see from an aggressive Chris Jones defense. Patrick Watkins comes off the edge in a corner blitz. You're going to see him. He's right here. He's beelining for the quarterback. Winnipeg's been working on this all week. Grigsby just lets him go. The quarterback decides not to give it to him. Batted ball.
And on the punt, it bounced in front of Jabal Miles. Flag is down. That'll be a 5-yard no yards penalty against the Bombers. That'll help the field position somewhat for Edmonton, as they should start inside Bomber territory. Edmonton this year, by the way, has begun 11 drives on the opposition side of midfield.
Well, you got to like this on the road. Good field position.
No yards. Winnipeg number 27. That penalty be declined. First down.
Return was longer than the penalty, so Mike Riley and the Edmonton Eskimos got a chance to go to work, leading by 7 in the opening quarter on the CFL on TSN. Eskimos with the lead, start at the Winnipeg 50-yard line. Toss going to John White, and White looked up, puts his head down, runs headlong into Johnny Sears, and the gain is 4.
Johnny Sears, Ian Wild, Greg Peach. Great pursuit by the Bombers defense, reading a little ISO fake inside, option the end. Peach sees it, he's on his horse already. Sears coming from free safety spots, got the angle and the speed. Peach catches up inside. All head breaks loose at the point of contact.
Now on 2nd down, Riley stands in and throws. He's got it, and he's picked off. Intercepted by Bruce Johnson. And Johnson gets up to the 40-yard line. And so the Bombers pick Riley off for the first time. And their defense comes up with a big play.
Yeah, that was all pressure. That was all pressure, Gordon. Riley had to throw it before he was ready and didn't anticipate and locate the ball well enough. You'll watch it come off the edge off the top of your screen. In Riley's face, untouched. He's got to force it. Can't follow through. Doesn't locate the ball. And watch the undercut right here. Ball's a good 3 or 4 yards behind. It's short. That's an easy pick. All byproduct of pressure on the quarterback in his grill, in his face.
First CFL interception for Bruce Johnson, the rookie out of the University of Miami. And so the Bombers start from the 40-yard line. And now Willie looks over the top. He's got a man wide open. He can't get it. Oh, he had Yola Godino wide open over the middle, but could not get the pass completed. It's 2nd down.
People are probably asking why. How does that happen? Same way it happens with Riley throwing a pick in the last play. Watch pressure in his face. Comes late. He's got plenty of time in the pocket. Comes late, and then he makes a quick decision. Just doesn't locate it well enough. That's a tough one.
Look, walked into the end zone last week and scored the game-winning touchdown in his hometown.
That was a beautiful catch over the head. Had to relocate, almost center field turn.
Now second down. Willie has some time and throws it underneath. It'll be well short of Winnipeg first down as Grigsby made the catch. But once again, the Bombers have to punt.
Those are 2 plays away. Those are 2 plays in a row that I've seen Drew Willie show me something I hadn't seen all year. Happy feet in the pocket. Just really kind of getting a little spooked in the pocket there and forcing the issue and not being on target, unlike what we've seen from Drew Willie in the first 3 weeks of the season.
Third 2 and out now for the Bombers, and flags are down as the punt is taken ahead by Jamal Miles. A late flag comes down as well. 4:56 to go in the first quarter. The Bombers not close to tying it up. 8 years ago this week that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers faced the Edmonton Eskimos in an untelevised game that was a Grey Cup rematch, and Matt Dunnigan threw for a CFL record 713 passing yards, the greatest passing day in CFL history.
We just kept plugging away, and heck, we had to start throwing the football there in the second half, it seemed like, because they were on our heels and making it a close ball game, and it just worked out. That happened. I don't know how it happened, but we won. That's the main thing.
Now 713 is great, Matt. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The hair.
Yeah, I sported all kinds of wigs back then. Sporting a short one now. But yeah, we should have had 850 that day, Gord.
Come on, you can't say that.
No, I'm saying it. There was 850 out there, and we only got 713. That's the way you look at it as professional athletes. You shoulda, woulda, couldas, missed opportunities. They had a great team, 92, 93, 94, and kind of came together for us that day.
Riley throws incomplete for Stamps. The Eskimos push back to the end of the block on the punt return. So here are the greatest passing days in Canadian Football League history.
Yeah, I like that one right down there. Gord, for 3 quarters, we got her done.
Yeah, only at 88 in the first quarter, right?
Yeah, we were terrible in the first quarter. Yeah, that was one of those games where Damon Allen, the quarterback for the opposition, the Edmonton Eskimos, they'd beaten us in the Grey Cup the year before. He was pressing the issue, so we had to continue to be aggressive.
Now on second down, Riley's back and he's dropped again. And once again, it appears as though Zach Anderson was the man who got in on it.
Trunks is in on it again. Zach Anderson, boy, they're happy to have him back because he's a load in the middle. If he didn't want to move, he ain't moving. He just has a little swim move over the top. A little stunt by the Bombers. Moving part defense, a lot of opportunities for them on the field. Any given play, they can check out of things and take things upon themselves as a defense and change things just as long as the responsibility is being looked after. And Gary Etcheverry empowers his team. They've been doing a heck of a job this year.
Towering punt by Shaw. Chasing the return man, Demond Washington, all the way back to his 40-yard line. He gets maybe 5 on the return. An enormous punt by Shaw of 58 yards and a return of 5. So we asked Mike Riley, who's had a 500-yard game, about your 713 yards.
Wow.
700, anything over 600, 500 even is a lot. I've thrown for 500 last year once against Toronto, and that seemed like I was throwing the ball every single play, and we were connecting all the time. So 700, I have no idea how you even do that. I can't even imagine throwing for that many yards. I don't know what was going on in that game. I haven't seen tape of it, but whoever the defense was, they cannot be proud of that performance.
Got a guy cut that day, huh?
Yeah, Charles Wright, app on a roadmap, window or aisle type of speech. It was, yeah, I think he did get shown the door shortly thereafter, but Alfred Jackson and David Williams, the receiving corps, Gerald Alphin, Gerald Wilcox, our offensive line, and running back back then was Chris Johnstone, Blaze Bryant. Had a heck of a, I was driving a car that was like a Rolls Royce or a Maserati. It's called a Maserati. I just had to keep it on the track, and we were able to do it that day pretty good.
Second and long again for the Bombers as Willie tries the shovel pass, and it's incomplete. As he got them ahead to Paris Cotton, but Cotton has had a tough start to the football game with a couple of bobbles on kickoffs. That's with that shovel pass.
Yeah, and this is a high percentage throw. This is typically what you go to. An offense is looking for some type of rhythm, a high percentage, a little easy underhand shovel pass, and they can't even get that going. This team seems tight right now. They don't seem dialed in. A lot of coaching going on the sidelines, and they're really sleepwalking through this first quarter.
4th, 2 and out now for Winnipeg. And Hairolahu is once again back to punt. Here comes the rush. He gets a good kick away. Taken the 28-yard line by Jamal Miles. 45-yard punt. And so the Edmonton Eskimos, with the lead, will have the football.
Not only did it have good distance, but it had great location, pinning the receiver on the sidelines.
This was earlier on. Renault talking to Hairolahu, who was a CIS All-Star as a place kicker at Western. He was also a conference All-Star as a punter. So Renault, with a hamstring pull in the warm-up, puts on the coaching hat. And since it's Mike O'Shea's coaching staff, it's on backwards. On first down, it goes to John White, and nothing doing there as he's stacked up by Jason Vega.
Nothing doing for offenses, period. Defense have scored the points of this football game. They've been disrupting the quarterbacks in their face, punishing them even when they pull it down and break contain. They're delivering a message when they do. And well, this is defensive battle. All the talk pregame is about offense, 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 and the quarterbacks and 3-0 football team. But defense, I tell you, has been the turnaround for both these football teams in a big, big way.
Loss of 3 on the play. 2nd and 13. Here comes the rush again. Monica has time. Goes over the top. He has a man. It's incomplete. As he was looking there for A.J. Guyton. The pass was almost picked off again. As back on the coverage was Damon Washington.
Yeah, Riley having all day to throw the football, and I credit the guys in the back end playing a little match coverage. And they got everybody in lockdown back there, and Riley's looking for somebody, tries to sift one in there. And there's 3 guys that converged on the football, had a better chance of catching it than the intended receiver. Watch how they converge right there. Undercut it. Damon Washington almost had him another one.
Now Fioli Godino on the punt return, and he is buried right away on the special teams tackle by Edmonton's Eric Samuels. So it has been back and forth for the offenses as they run into the stiff headwinds from 2 teams that have really, through the first 3 weeks of the season, relied a lot on their defense. Don't forget, Winnipeg has 3 defensive touchdowns on the season. Edmonton has 1 tonight from Odell Willis.
Yeah, I think what speaks to that, Paul LaPolice before the game said in the studio a stat that is really reflective of how well the defense has been doing for Winnipeg, especially as they've lost a turnover battle 2 weeks in 2 games, and they've won them. They've won those games.
The give goes to Krigsby on first down, and Krigsby picks up 6 on the first down carry. He's got 3 touchdowns on the year, averaging just about 5.5 yards a carry so far. You see head coach Michael O'Shea looking on.
I asked Osh what he does pre-game or a day of a game, and he said he watched his daughter in gymnastics. Comes to the park about 4 or 5 hours early. Really just tries to kill time because Hayes in the barn.
Now the play fake on second down, and they swing it out to Rory Kohler, his first catch of the game. And Kohler marked down at about the 51-yard line. He'll be 1.5 yards short of a Winnipeg first down as the tackle was made by Joe Burnett.
Hairolahu going to get an opportunity, and a lot of them, it seems like, he'll be a seasoned professional by the end of this ball game punting the football. He's shown us that he's got a pretty good leg too, and his location's been phenomenal, particularly in that last punt.
This will be the 5th punt of the game for Hairolahu. Yes, once again, Jamal Miles waits for the kick.
Never a good thing, Gord.
No.
5 punts in the first quarter.
It's a low driving kick that chases Miles back. His 14-yard line, a 49-yard kick, and once again, the youngster, Hairolahu, the 24-year-old from St. Catharines. A good kick for the Bombers. They trail by 7 after 1 quarter on the CFL on TSN. Teams 24 total yards in offense. Edmonton has 22 yards to take off the sacks. The Eskimos have 5. So we talked about these two quarterbacks at the start of the game. We should be talking about middle linebackers and defensive ends.
Well, we can do that, and we will, I imagine, for like 3 quarters we continue this type of play. The Eskimos were about 10 minutes late on introductions coming out before the start of the football game. Their offense still has not showed up in the first quarter. And boy, I credit the Winnipeg defense for really confusing the young quarterback Mike Riley and keeping him at bay at this point. But you like his aggressiveness. He's continuing to push the football down the field, and that's just how he attacks the football game. See if they can't get it going here in the second quarter.
And they'll start the second quarter, their 21-yard line. Riley under pressure again, and he'll get across the line of scrimmage. And as he does, he'll drag Winnipeg tackler Ian Wild with him.
Yeah, he's confused, and he's not seeing it very clear. Neither one of these quarterbacks are, as defenses are giving him look after look, and watch him go through his progressions. Nope, nope, nope. You got to pull it down, make something happen. And that's just good, solid defense, mixing it up, whether it's man-to-man, whether it's match coverage on the back end. These quarterbacks are not seeing it very clearly right now.
On second down, Riley throws, and the pass complete over the middle. And at the 40-yard line, it's a first down, as the pass was caught by A.J. Guyton for a gain of 15.
Yeah, this time I think Mike Riley calls the play, anticipating getting Guyton. Watch him. He picks him up early, and then watch his short release. Bang! And I tell you, his elbow's low for a 6'3", 235-pound quarterback, a big guy. His release is really low, and we'll continue to watch out throughout this ball game. But there, has a quick release on target, stuck it in there.
Now White on the first down carry, and pick up a gain of maybe a couple. We asked Greg Peach yesterday, Winnipeg defensive lineman, how many different fronts could you show the Edmonton Eskimos tomorrow? And Peach said we could show them a different one every play in a quarter.
Which is true. They have the capabilities of moving a lot of different things out there. It's moving parts. I said, is it freedom or is it more flexibility? He said flexibility. I think it's a key word to this defense, what Gary Echeverry does. They're very flexible, empowers his team to go out there and have fun.
Here they come on second and long. Riley throws, and Darius Bowman's got the catch. And a first down to the Winnipeg 47-yard line. Damon Washington was there on the coverage. He's shaken up. A 22-yard gain for the former Winnipeg Blue Bomber, Darius Bowman.
And Darius Bowman got an ISO on him. He's got leverage already, and he just runs a speed cut, and the ball's a little late and low, and he goes down and gets it. And Darius Bowman, who's had a bit of troubles in the past, been watching this game and this man's career of squeezing those balls, but he makes a nice catch there. Goes down low and secures a beautiful catch.
So Washington shaken up on the play, but Darius Bowman's been a couple of years here in Winnipeg, and Paul LaPolice could tell you firsthand, a talented receiver who just had huge issues catching the football at times.
Yeah, he had the talent. It was just between the ears. And this is last week when he simply went off. 9 catches, 140 yards. You can see that in the 3 scores, and you can see his confidence come back. You making plays like that, one-handed catch over the head, going full speed. Look, he's not even thinking twice there. His mind's completely out of it in that situation, and when a receiver's not thinking about it, that's when he's at his best. And on that catch there, we saw right in front of the Bomber sidelines, well, he made it look easy, didn't think about it, went down and made a tough catch.
So leads the league with 4 touchdowns on the year. And the man from Chattanooga, Tennessee, has a first down on a 22-yard gain. So the Bombers will have to adjust their defense somewhat with Damon Washington shaken up.
Yeah, we saw a shot of Shaman Chambers back there. Receiver, another receiver, big target for Riley in this Edmonton offense. He gets it going. That offense is going to be lethal.
On first down, Riley under pressure throws. White's got the catch. And John White off and running, gets down to the 37-yard line, close to another Edmonton first down.
North and south, John, north and south. He started going east and west. The posse got to him in a hurry. Riley knows where his outlet is. Watch his quick release. Just his elbow is below his shoulder every time he throws the football. Maybe trying to get it out, kind of like shooting darts. And he darted that one into John White there, putting him in second and short.
The only points in this game have been scored by the defense so far. 7-0 Edmonton lead. And here's White, room to run on the left side. And goes vaulting over the Bomber tackler as Donadamba stood in his way. And that'll be good enough for an Edmonton first down and a gain of 4.
I like the quick decision there by the back. Hit the hole, press it, bounce outside. And getting what you can, turning it up. Exactly what he did there. Well, he was phenomenal last week. I thought Glenn Suter, our #1 Kohler guy here at TSN, did a phenomenal job of ISO and John White's ability to block in the backfield for Mike Riley. Heck of a job last week, picking up a lot of different fronts.
Now the play fake by Riley, swings it up to Calvin McCarty, and McCarty cut down for a gain of 8 as the stop was made by Chris Randall.
Yeah, this is White doing his thing last week, referred to it. He was phenomenal. Great coverage by our crew. Just picking people up and then finding holes, gaping holes. Nice draw play there by the Eskimos. Look at that vision and that bounce. That was crazy. This is more him showing you what he does with a rock in the hand, but it was more impressive what he didn't do, or what he did do with the ball out of his hands, picking up stunts and linebackers and defensive ends, protecting his quarterback. Gotta love that.
First time inside the 30 for the Eskimos in the football game. Play fake again, throw it back up to McCarty. Takes an early shot from Randall, but steps ahead and goes out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Good enough for another Edmonton first down. This drive began at the Eskimo 21-yard line.
Classic example of a guy not wrapping up, just hitting a ball carrier. In this case, Calvin McCarty, who's much bigger than Randall. And Randall's a consummate pro. I told you, watch how he doesn't wrap up. He just kind of hits him with the shoulder. That's not going to happen. These are professional athletes out there, Chris. You should know better. Wrap him up, take him to the ground, secure the tackle. Good job on Calvin McCarty taking advantage of that.
Out the 19-yard line. Here comes the rush. Riley to the end zone. It's incomplete. And Mike Riley got belted. Devon Washington came on a halfback blitz. He was one of the rushers.
Yeah, this is when you look at a video the next day and you're not on the same page timing-wise with the receiver.
Teague Sherman was the other man on the rush for the Bomber.
Yeah, it is a jailbreak on the quarterback right here. Ronnie knows he's got to get rid of the football, but his receivers, they don't have the same sense of urgency that he has in the backfield, and he's got to try to throw the football. Doesn't even get a chance to do that.
Second down. Here they come again. Sherman misses Riley, puts his head down, has some room to run. Here goes Riley for a first down and more inside the 10-yard line. Down to the 7. Teague Sherman had him dead to rights.
Oh, man. This is Houdini. This is survival. He's got all heck breaking loose in his kitchen, and he's just trying to dodge the bullets, and he did a great job. Got small there underneath the arm of Ian Wild. And Teague Sherman finally catches up to him as he slows down. Move the chains. That's what you love about this game and this quarterback in particular. How he has a never-say-die attitude.
11th play of the drive. First and goal from the 7. Here they come again. Riley throws. Catch is made by White, but he gets down to the 5-yard line. As the stop is made by Bruce Johnson.
There's a heads-up play and a tough back out in space. Close quickly. White thought he had a walk-in touchdown when he outflanked the linebacker, but Johnson was there to close fast and take him down for virtually no gain.
Second and goal now from the 5.
Flat across the board, Gordon, looks like pressure.
Here comes the rush. Riley under pressure, throws. The screen pass is dropped by McCarty. A flag comes down at the end of the play as it looked like Teague Sherman got a late shot on Riley, and we'll see what the flag is.
Oh, this is going to be late hitting a quarterback. This is reminiscent from the play we saw with the Eskimos early last year. Had a walk-in touchdown.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Winnipeg number 7. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
They're calling Damon Washington, not Teague Sherman. So 7, not 27.
Well, you just can't do that. I mean, you can't hit. That's just not within the rules anymore, fellas. You just can't hit a quarterback in the helmet, in the face with your 2 fists. That's just not going to fly.
So 1st and goal now from the 2.5.
A potentially 4-point play that just happened there.
And Riley swings it out for White. The pass is incomplete. So a 2nd and goal from the 2.5.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from here. I got a great vantage point. It's just they're not on the same page. The angle there for the quarterback to get the ball to the rush in that was let go upfield just wasn't there. So Riley kind of had to sidearm it and wasn't on target with the throw.
This is the 14th play of the drive, Matt. They've chewed up nearly 7 minutes of the clock. Now 2nd and goal. Riley again under pressure, throws to the end zone. It is incomplete for Fred Stamps as Bruce Johnson was there on the coverage, and the Bombers will hold at the 2-yard line as the Eskimos march the ball down the field but stall inside the 5.
Yeah, here's Fred Stamps. You do this, you can have a hot pursuit right on his back. Riley's got to throw it basically 40 yards from the right hash to that sideline. Ball floats on him a little bit. He's lucky they didn't go back the other way. It's a tough throw for 4 yards, 5 yards, and height. It's low percentage. Defense makes him throw the low percentage ball. Can't spot it out there quickly enough. Nice break in the ball. Holding potential 3 points here.
10-yard field goal try by Grant Shaw is good. And the Edmonton Eskimos come away with 3 and a 10-point lead. Fred Stamps on the goal line, but the pass broken up by Bruce
Teague Sherman saying, hey, look, been there, done that. You can't go high. He's going to duck. And you can almost read his lips here. If you aim for his waist, you're guaranteed, but you can't go high. You got if you aim for his waist, I guarantee it. For all the linebackers, anybody out there listening, as a quarterback, I knew I got out of trouble a lot by ducking like that. These guys go right over the top. It's exactly what Riley did. I know she's talking to him, saying the same thing.
Play fake on 1st down. Drew Williams over the top. He's got a man, but the pass incomplete for Romby Bryant. And back there on the coverage was Aaron Grimes. Well, Winnipeg's had some injury trouble in the early going, so they signed Romby Bryant, who played a couple of games last year for Toronto. Of course, Romby Bryant and Odell Willis were involved in that trade 5 years ago between Winnipeg and Calgary, where Bryant was dealt by the Bombers to Calgary, and Willis was part of the package that came back to Winnipeg.
Worked out pretty good for both clubs at the time. Romby comes back to his old stomping grounds where he had his first 1,000-yard receiving year right here in 2008.
Now on 2nd down. Willie's under pressure, gets it away, but he was being wrapped up on the play by Armando Sewell, and so once again, it's 2-0 for the Bombers. That's 6 times in the football game.
And this Edmonton Eskimo team is night and day different from they were last year defensively. Last year, they were 7th in the leagues, 2nd worst in stops. And stops scored is tackles behind the line of scrimmage, tackles for losses, tackles for no gain, and sacks. Last year, they're dead. They're 2nd to last. This year, they're number 1 in stops.
This is 5 consecutive 2-and-outs for Winnipeg, and the 6th punt of the game for Liram Hajrullahu. Another good kick by Hajrullahu. This chases Miles back to his 20-yard line. He's got a seat, though. Here comes Jamal Miles. Straight ahead he goes. He gets tripped up at the 45-yard line. So 10-0, the Edmonton Eskimos lead. The home team is 3-0 in the air, but they've had their hands full with the Eskimos in the early. Hockey and Sochi are dominating in the early going.
Really?
Great way to learn about the country, Matthew.
Really?
Yeah. You'd be good on that. Except for the direction part. I'd have to handle it. Here's Riley on the plate. Think it's around the corner. Again, got away from Sherman and throws over the head of the intended target as he was trying to find Shamad Chamber.
That's ill-conceived right there. You know, Quarterback boots like that, you got to have a built-in package on the backside or pattern. And Jones is just livid with Shamad Chambers. He's not, both of them they're right underneath each other. You got to have a play call, complementary pattern on the backside with both those guys, anticipating the quarterback pulling and going on the shallow end and breaking contain. There, the Eskimos not on the same page.
Now on second down, here comes the rush again. Riley's under pressure. And he gets away again. Off and running is Mike Riley. Puts his head down and dives down to the 45-yard line. He hasn't been touched yet. And finally gets brought down at the 35-yard line for a gain of 30 yards. And again, Riley appeared to be bottled up and got away.
It's just, I'm laughing. I'm laughing at Chris Edwards, our producer. He's in my ear. Man, this guy's good. And he is good. I mean, we're fans when we watch plays like this. And Mike Riley, he showed us this ability last year.
No one touched him, and he got another 10.
Yeah, he was slid. He says, you're not going to play ball? Nobody's going to touch him. I'm going to get a couple more. I love it. Just the desire and want to. Creativity.
Now from the 35. Swings it out. The catch made by Kendall Lawrence up the sidelines. And check that was A.J. Guyton. And Guyton got pushed out of bounds at the 24. Gain of 12 yards, another Edmonton first down.
Riley barely got the ball to Guyton on a design play with blockers out in front of him, and they're working hard to get the blocks and sustain blocks downfield. Watch, he can't get the handle. He kind of pushes it out there, which is his style anyways. But nice blocks by Cooler and Stamps, and he just steps out right there. Or otherwise, it's a walk into the end zone.
First down, Riley throws, pass is caught. Chambers has it, a first down as he pulls his way inside the 10-yard line, gets down to 9, lost the football.
That's what I'm talking about. Shamad Chambers, third-year player from Wilfrid Laurier. He's really shown me a lot this year. I saw it first week of the season, particularly when he's catching the ball underneath, and his explosiveness right here. It redirects and then gets straight up the football field and showing you that he's not afraid to stick his head in there as well. Shamad Chambers, to me, is a difference maker in this football team if he can get going.
You see the ball came loose for a moment. Chambers got it back. First and goal from the 9. Riley's under pressure. Sherman wraps him up, and this time he is down. Teague Sherman wasn't going to let him go this time.
No, he didn't want another lashing from his head coach, Mike O'Shea, and you saw where he tackled him, too, right there. He went low. Wrapped him up, didn't go over the top, but Riley continues to feel the pressure from the Eskimos, and this time they get to him. And then here comes Tree Trunk himself, Zach Anderson, to clean things up.
Loss of 9 on the play. Still second and goal, this time from the 19. Riley throws, Stamps has it. Fred Stamps looking up the field, gets pushed out of bounds by Matt Buckner. It'll be third and goal for the Eskimos from the 6.
Prettiest throw of the ball game I've seen.
3-minute warning here in Winnipeg. The Edmonton Eskimos with a 10-0 lead, looking to add to it. He'll diagnose that for us.
I'm sure he's all over that. It's good to have Rod back. After a nice vacation, should be well rested. I believe he's out in Alberta with the family.
Grant shot on a chip shot, this time from the 18-yard line. And the Edmonton add to their lead now 13-0 here in the first half. And the CFL Live returns Winnipeg after this. He went out on 5 consecutive offensive series, so Michael O'Shea's team facing some adversity on home field.
Yeah, look at that time of possession. That kind of tells everything right there. It's not that Edmonton's lighting it up. They just controlled the football and really kept this young man, Drew Willie, rattled here in the first half with constant pressure.
Start for the 35. Here comes the blitz. And the handoff taken ahead by Grigsby. And Grigsby gets 7 yards as he crosses the 40-yard line.
I love it at the end of the play there. Glenn January comes in a little late and lowers his shoulder pads and an elbow on a defensive back, trying to peel him off the pile. And his running back, that's just football. Went nose to nose. I loved being at the park watching these little things happen. Pressure out the corner.
Yeah, second and short. They give it back to Grigsby. He's got some room, and Grigsby across the 45 up to the 50. For Winnipeg, first down. That draws a roar from the crowd. First down of the game for the Blue Bombers comes with 2:19 to go in the first half.
Yeah, you got a corner sting coming off the edge. And you see Patrick Watkins coming in from left to right. They've got a play call the other way, running away from danger, and pick up a first down.
Now they're rolling. From their own 50, Willie throws, and the pass is incomplete. Watkins got a hand in there.
Patrick Watkins to the target. Patrick Watkins. I believe I said Pat White. It's Patrick Watkins on the corner blitz last play, and there you saw Patrick Watkins, a short side corner again, showing you what he can do. 6'4", drapes receivers.
Chris Jones' favorite, back to Toronto with him when he was the defensive coordinator for the Argonauts.
Jones loves his guys.
Second down from the 50. Willie has time, looks over the top, has a man wide open. Has the catch down to the 10-yard line. And the Bombers are in business late in the first half on a 50-yard gain by Clarence Denmark.
Yeah, Willie always says, just give me some time. Give me some time. Let me throw the ball. Let me show you how to do it. Watch his high release compared to Riley's low release. Elbows high. Sticks it out there, still has some pressure in his face. Denmark's just running an open area and the ball's spotted out there pretty nicely. Otherwise, Denmark walks into the end zone.
Deepest penetration by the Bombers by far. They bend to Grigsby. Down goes Willie. He gets sacked off the edge by Dexter McCoyle, the man who replaces J.C. Sherritt in the starting lineup for Edmonton.
I know Chris Schultz loves some Dexter McCoyle. The guy's rangy, tall, will linebacker, and he is coming, and Willie has no idea. Coming at the top of the line. Watch him coming this way. Unabated to the quarterback. Boom, that could have been a lot worse than it was.
Loss of 5, now 2nd and 15. Here comes the rush again. Willie to the end zone for Denmark. Oh, incomplete. Grimes was there on the coverage. Denmark juggles it in the end zone. And the Bombers will have to settle for a field goal try.
Aaron Grimes hurt last year for the Edmonton Eskimos for the most part of the season. This year he's healthy, and boy, this is a well-thrown football, but boy, there's not much room back there because Grimes is all over. The ball actually goes through his hands and through Denmark's. Grimes is right there. The shutdown corner. I asked Chris Jones, head coach for the Eskimos, about Grimes, and got some high praise as to his description of his second-year man from Idaho. Says he reminds him a lot of Chip Cox, most valuable defensive player in the league last year.
Ireland hasn't missed a field goal yet in his first CFL season, now 8 for 8. And the Bombers are finally on the board, down 10 with 1:07 to go. Bombers have trailed in 2 of their 3 wins so far this season. Of course, they hear that late scoring drive in Montreal last week.
Yeah, Jones has made a difference defensively for this football team. His style, boy, he's fiery too. Boy, I love his competitiveness.
Didn't like the 50-yard gain by Denmark, so
I go back to this year, Gord. Defensive stops is a great stat as far as I'm concerned, making a difference. Last year, they were 7th in the league. This year, #1 with stops. Armando Sewell's a big part of that. Defensive lineman interior for the Eskimos.
Eskimos started their own 35-yard line after the field goal. Riley has time, looks ahead for Stamps, and hand fighting down there. The pass is incomplete. As Stamps and Buckner were jousting down there. You talk about stops, Matt. Tackles are one of the most misleading stats in the sport. There's a tackle on almost every play. So if I gain 30 yards and you tackle me, or you tackle me for a loss of 10, they're both tackles. Tackles for losses, far more important.
And that's why we're keeping that stat. And I think it's a great of a bearing on the outcome of the football game when you're making stops. It's not tackles.
On second down, here comes the rush, and Riley gets away again, but at the last moment, Reaching out to grab him was Ian Wild, and he'll limit that to a gain of 3. So the escape artist couldn't get away this time, and Edmonton will have to punt.
No, he's trying to get away from a heck of a ball player, second-year player Ian Wild. Watch Wild, he's going to spy him here. He's got him in his sights the whole time, and Riley escapes 3, but not Wild. It's talked to Osh about Wild. He says, you know, guys ask me how to get better as pros, and he says, see that guy over there, Ian Wild? Go hang out with him. Guaranteed to find your way.
Draw to punt. Low tumbling kick. Joey Godino fields that at the 40-yard line. And he stopped about there. DeMont Washington was shaken up earlier, so not available on punt return duties for the Bombers, who take over with 36 seconds to go in the first half. The Bombers did not get a first down in this football game until inside the 3-minute warning.
Well, they cracked that goose egg and stopped the bleeding, so to speak, with a big play down to Denmark. See if they can't do it again here. Get some momentum going into the half. Plenty of time.
Here comes the rush from Odell Willis, and they screen it off to Grigsby. Grigsby puts his head down at the 50-yard line. He'll be just short of a Winnipeg first down.
Yeah, you can see what Edmonton's doing, playing it basically. It was 3 double cut there. It's 3 defenders deep, and the corners are cutting the area outside and forcing the quarterback to dump it down and be patient. Should have plenty of times going here. Times you got to get the ball off, Drew Willie. Got to be better than that.
Now the pass to field to Godino, and they'll mark him for a first down at the 52-yard line with 15 seconds to go in the first half. But you don't like it, man?
No, I don't like it. I took about 7 seconds off the clock before the ball was even snapped. You got the first down, that's huge, but well, you're on the verge of not getting any points on this if you don't hurry it up.
Clock running now inside 10
5
seconds.
4 seconds are gone.
And Willie, incomplete for Grigsby.
Now it's a Hail Mary. Then you go into half with no momentum on your side. And that falls directly on the young quarterback's shoulders and not handling the clock properly there in the last 37 seconds. And that's something you can learn from. It's a coachable moment there, and I know that Marcel Belfait will be all over that with the young quarterback and trying to improve those things.
So 3 seconds to go in the first half. Edmonton up by 10.
Look at this difference.
And Willie in flush. Throwing in for Grigsby. He's got some room to run. The time running down. Grigsby goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line, and that's where the first half will end. Defensive story, Odell Willis with the interception return for a touchdown. And the Edmonton Eskimos have a 13-3 lead.
Drew Willie is intercepted by Edmonton's Odell Willis. Pick 6, Edmonton by 10 at the break.
Bombers.
Zach, 3 sacks for this Bombers team in that first half, 2 for yourself, but we saw Mike Riley prove elusive at time. What's the key to trying to contain him?
You know, it was just full of mixed executions in the first half. We're going to come out here. We see what we need to do, what we need to correct. You know, Mike's a tough guy. You know, we need to focus on taking him down, but we'll be better this second half.
Edmonton controlled time of possession over 20 minutes in that first half. How tired is this defensive group? How much of a concern is that?
You know, I mean, we were pretty tired the first half, but, you know, we recharged the batteries at halftime, and it's no concern to us.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
So Riley, the native of Kennewack, Washington, who played his college football at Central Washington. Briefly a BC Lion, now second-year starter for the Eskimos, and the Eskimos, who won the first half toss, deferred to the second half, will begin the second half with the football. And Jamal Miles runs into a wall of Bombers, led by Matt Buckner.
Talking about how elusive Mike Riley has been here in the first half. I mean, he's your break and contain and getting tough yards there. Then he ducks a couple, comes out the other side, draws attention in a hurry. And again, makes a couple people miss a spin move. And then he's off to the races, and he goes down by his own accord, and nobody touches him, gets back up and gets some more. Not a bad first half rushing for a quarterback.
Here's John White to open the second half with the carry. And a gain of 5 yards on the play.
Yeah, these type of ball games too, Gord, that's huge because it's field position. Yards are tough to come by. Defensive secondaries are in lockdown mode. Nobody's open. Limited opportunities for big plays. And so quarterback like Mike Riley, certainly Drew Willie, got to make things happen with their legs. He's been able to do that. It's pretty much the difference. Because defensively, Edmonton scored a couple of field goals, and that's it.
Now Riley swings it out. And the pass was bobbled for a moment by A.J. Guyton, but Guyton dives across the 35-yard line. And that will be good for Edmonton first down. Edmonton put together a 14-play, 7.5-minute drive in the second quarter that stalled the 2-yard line and resulted in a field goal try. That was the most impressive performance for Chris Jones' team in the first 30 minutes.
Offensively speaking.
Offensively.
Yes. Yeah, and they still couldn't punch it in the end zone.
And Matt Buckner injured on the play. We were talking to Chris Jones yesterday about what he felt Edmonton needed. He watched all of their games from last season when he got the job, went through it all. Of course, the 4-14 year. They lost a lot of close games early in the season and seemed to lose a lot of their will. But the one thing he felt they needed was more playmakers on defense. And of course, he's a longtime defensive coordinator. He would say that. But he did feel like, you know, the Mark Trestman to Scott Milanovich to Chris Jones line is don't go somewhere unless you have a good quarterback. And Chris Jones felt like in Mike Riley, the Edmonton Eskimos have a bona fide Canadian Football League quarterback.
They do. And you got to match up your style offensively with your abilities defensively, too. And you got a young quarterback. You have aggressive defense. Good things can happen. Field position, which is this game has been about. And Chris Jones is certainly a guy that likes people that know his system around it. And Jonesy went out and got a lot of those guys. You talk about playmakers defensively. Patrick Watkins is one of them, shut down corner. And absolutely loves what he sees in Aaron Grimes. I talked about him earlier, comparing him to Chip Cox.
So Chris Jones is from South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, right in the Tennessee-Alabama border.
Yep.
So I said, what's famous about South Pittsburgh? He said, if you own a cast iron pan, it was made there. It's the last cast iron foundry in the United States. So if you have a cast iron frying pan, it's from his hometown.
Guaranteed a lot of folks down south have cast iron frying pans. Yep. Everywhere.
They hurt like the Dickens, I can tell you firsthand.
My wife Kathy's cooked a lot of cornbread in cast iron pan. And it's good too.
First down from the 36-yard line. Riley under pressure, gets it away. It's up in the air and out of the reach of Odell Willis, who was close. And once again, Mike Riley took a shot at the end of that play, and Teague Sherman was the man who was coming close to him.
Yeah, Teague is getting up close and personal with and I think I think he's right in this area here, and he is coming off the edge unabated. Does a nice job of laying up. Doesn't want to take any silly penalties. He's already in Michael Shea's doghouse, and doesn't want to stay there. Wants to work his way out.
Now on second down. Here comes the rush again. And this time Riley will not get away as Desmond Dunn comes in for the sack, his first of the year. Dunn had a fumble return for a touchdown last week and keep playing against the Montreal Alouettes, and now a big sack here in the second half.
It's hilarious how he goes in there and tries to kind of swarm Riley. Didn't want to let him get out of his midst, so to speak, and he kind of broke down as he kept going forward, left to right here. Watch him. He kind of shuttles down here, and then he kind of wraps around and making sure that Riley's not going to duck and get out of the way and pull another Houdini.
Shaw to punt. And Julian Fiola-Godino receives it at the 35-yard line. And across the 40 he goes to the 43. Drew Willie and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will go back to work down by 10 on the CFL on TSN. So the defensive coordinator. There's an injury problem. Here's Sarah Orlesky with more.
Thank you, Gord. Late in that second quarter, Marcus Howard injured his left hand. The training staff was working on it. We are told now that he is doubtful to return tonight. Again, it's his left hand, looked to be the thumb.
First down, Bombers now from their 43-yard line. They fake the give to Nick Board. Here's Nick Grigsby on the carry, and there's been not much for him tonight. A gain of 2 on the play out to the 45-yard line. He's got 6 carries tonight for 30 yards.
No Marcus Howard, no problem. You got Willie Jefferson, designated import, step in for him.
Edmonton does dress 8 defensive linemen in the game. Winnipeg dresses 9 linebackers instead.
Gotta love the linebackers. Ooh, here comes.
Look out, here comes the rush, and Willie won't get away. And Odell Willis, a little somersault at the end of that play.
Yeah, well, it was Willie Jefferson, first-year player from Stephen F. Austin. He comes off the edge, shows you his quickness, fresh legs, forces Willie to step up in the pocket. There's Jefferson, just a little slap move right around the tackle, forces him back into the collapsing pocket. Down goes Willie.
And there has been very little production from this Winnipeg offense. The 50-yard gain by Clarence Denmark accounting for most of it. With a high kick taken by Miles, and Miles has some room to run. A flag is down. He's across the 50. Another flag comes down. And this return is likely to come back. But a little burst of speed there from Miles. Second-year man out of Arizona State.
Holding. Edmonton number 27. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It's been mostly D so far tonight. 2 3-0 teams meeting to kick off week 4. 2 for Edmonton, now tied with Saskatchewan for top spot in the early going. Saskatchewan with a bye week this week.
Tough time to have a bye week on a 2-game losing skid, particularly in that fishbowl.
From the 34, Riley throws, Stamps the catch, and a first down out to the 46-yard line, and the grab by Fred Stamps, a gain of 12.
Quick slant on the money, time and throw. Doing what they do. That's like clockwork. Catch it, sling it. 2 guys been doing it a while together. Stamps having a slow year out of the gate, though. It's been all Darius Bowman, number 4 for the Eskimos, pretty much the first 3 weeks.
From the 45, Riley swings that out, and this is A.J. Guyton diving ahead close to midfield. He'll be about a yard short of another Edmonton first down.
Yeah, this is a play that Winnipeg's defense is vulnerable to. Talking to Mike Riley yesterday, they like to keep a lot of people in the box. That's between the tackles in that area, and when they do, you can see all those people in that area there. When they're in there, if you just slip it out on a bubble screen to your receivers that have leverage, you're going to have those lanes. That's exactly what Riley's doing there.
Now on second and short. And diving ahead for the first down is John White as the drive continues for Edmonton.
I like the little chess match we're seeing here on this drive. Just the play calling. Steve McAdoo, offensive coordinator. He sees him inside, he's dump it outside. He spread him out, then he's try to gut him in the middle. That's what the game's all about, making adjustments. And so far, these teams have been able to do it well the first 3 games. And starting to see a little momentum here offensively for the Eskimos.
Into Winnipeg territory, Riley throws, and Nate Kuhorn has the catch. And Kuhorn's first catch of the game is for a gain of about 5 on the play.
Coming right at you. Bing. Nice sure-handed tackle. Just pitch and catch, nothing really exciting. Just, doing what they got to do. Trying to be productive.
Back on the corner now for the Bombers. Saw Devon Washington hurt earlier. He's back as well. The market is a gain of 6 at second and 4. Here comes the ride. Riley stands and it throws incomplete for White. He had him wide open. Ejiro Kawali was coming in. along with Teague Sherman. And the Eskimos are forced to punt.
And Riley is just beside himself, knowing they had a golden opportunity off the edge, up top. Again, guys just coming untouched. Teague Sherman there, and Riley tries to flip it out and doesn't connect, doesn't locate the ball where his receiver can have an opportunity to catch it and run with it. And Mike knows that's a lost opportunity.
Now Fielder Cadino stands at the 5-yard line. Grant Shaw looking for the corner, and Shaw will find it with a great kick. It goes out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. They'll mark it right at the 5, which is where the Bombers will begin when we come and make yours today. So the Bombers, after a great punt by Grant Shaw that goes out of bounds at the 5-yard line, start deep in their own territory. Early movement, flags are down, free play for the Bombers, and Willie throws it underneath to Grigsby, who gets a gain of 5, brought down at the 10-yard line. There was early movement on the defensive line for Edmonton.
Yeah, it was Willie Jefferson, Gordon. It's a good hard count by Drew Willie down there, trying to get an easy 5 and a free play. It's exactly what he got. Jefferson just in the ball game, second series.
You mentioned from Stephen F. Austin State University, which is in?
Go ahead.
You tell me.
Go ahead.
Tell me where it is.
Go ahead.
Offside. Edmonton number 37. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
I can't say it. Nacho Gochez, Texas. Is that how you say it? How do you say it?
Nacogdoches.
Nacogdoches? Yeah. Thank you. Well, that's why I wanted you to say it instead of me.
It's just awesome. You went down that road. I wanted to see if you just couldn't see how far you go.
Couldn't close the deal, man. First and 5 for the 10. Here comes the blitz. And Willie finds Fielder Cadino, and he'll dive ahead close to the first down marker for Winnipeg. Fielder Cadino spent the last 2 years with the Toronto Argonauts. Actually born in Costa Rica, but his family moved to Montreal as a youngster.
Yeah, this is nice. Design play, get out. Let him come to you and make somebody miss. It's what he does. For the most part, picks up a couple more. That's good playing. And this kid, he was basically lost in Toronto's program last year, buried behind Mike Bradwell and a couple other starters in front of him, and he just didn't get an opportunity. And I tell you, Mike O'Shea comes over here to Winnipeg, and he saw something in this kid, gave him an opportunity, and he's taken it and run with it.
See Robert Marr coming to the sidelines for Winnipeg, the third quarterback who will run the short yardage team. And he, like Drew Willie, you'll see on his throwing hand, wears the glove. In fact, Marv wears them on both hands. And it's something we're seeing more and more from quarterbacks these days, Matt, is even in nice weather, wearing the glove.
Yeah, consistency. You don't have to worry about the tack on the ball or if your hands are sweaty. You have these gloves on, and Gord, I tell you, you're going to have some tack on the ball and some grip. And Drew Willie is perfect example of that. We'll get to that in a bit.
Second and short, and Marv moves ahead and moves the sticks for the Bombers. So on comes Willie once again to run the offense. And Peyton Manning began wearing the glove game to game in Indianapolis. Phillip Rivers does the same thing. Drew Willie was in both Indianapolis and San Diego in the National Football League.
Absolutely.
Kurt Warner did it for a long time.
And all these guys were an influence on Drew Willie somewhere down his road since 2009. And playing in Saskatchewan is a no-brainer for him. He says, yeah, it's cold.
Here's Filipino with the catch. Out across the 25-yard line. Bottle up for about a gain of 8 on the play. So, Matt, you wore a glove once, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Now you got these. Now that's an acrylic surface on the palm side.
Right there. That right there.
Pretty grippy.
That has got amazing tack right there. I wore these one time right in Winnipeg in '91 in the Grey Cup. It was minus 20 or so. It helped me that day a little bit. We weren't very good offensively, but we had a good team. We ended up winning that game.
So the glove really didn't make a difference.
Well, it did, and you have a chance.
Here's Griggs slipping a tackle, and couldn't beat the second man. As he's brought down on the play by
it's a bold statement.
To Foster with the tackle.
Bold statement by Drew Willie. I mean, he didn't go black gloves or blue gloves, he goes with white gloves.
Stands right up.
I mean, first year as the starter in the league.
And he grabs number 5 in Winnipeg. Dieter Brock's old number.
Absolutely. You talk about staring the barrel down, and he just said, yeah, bring it on. I can handle it. And he has been able to handle it. Up until tonight, he's really been a lot poised, and we'll see if he can't get it together here in the second half. But he does look a little flustered with this Eskimo defense, and they've been keeping him on the move quite a bit.
So it is a first down. The drive began at the Bomber 5-yard line. Now some room to breathe. Grigsby with a first down carry and a pickup of 2. So the Bombers begin the year at 3-0 after going 3-15 last year. Here are the only Winnipeg Blue Bomber quarterbacks to start 3-0 on a season. The great Ken Plain twice in 1960 and 65. Tom Clements in 87.
Plain is my favorite.
Can he play?
Yeah, four Grey Cups. Tough to beat. Phenomenal player. Made it look easy.
Harry Jones, most recent prior to this year in 2003. Now a little delay again to Griggs, his best run of the game, gets under the 40-yard line. A flag comes down late on the hit. As he was hit there by Nathan Kanya. It'll be a first down for Winnipeg and potentially more on the flag. Here's the call from referee Tom Valesi.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Edmonton number 46. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's the hit, Matt, right here.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, that's gonna, you know about working out of a hole and getting some momentum. This is working out to be one of those drives for the Bombers, much needed, trying to gain some type of momentum and traction here. Nice draw play, excellent job up front.
Winds up as a gain of 28 yards out to midfield. Back to the ground, and not much doing there for Grigsby. He's tripped up by Odell Willis, along with Eddie Steele, the Winnipeg native, who played his university football for the Manitoba Bisons, who share the stadium with the Blue Bombers.
About a force in the middle. That Edmonton defense is thick in the middle, and they got speed and power off the edge. And no wonder they're leading the league in takeaways and stops, and everything else this year.
Now second down. Willie under pressure. Might be his turn to run. He throws instead. It's caught at the first down marker. And the sticks will move for the Bombers. The catch is made by Rory Kohler. And Kohler has a gain of 16 yards and a first down.
You talk about unorthodox. You're getting pressure from the field here, and a nice job in the interior picking up the blitz, and Willie escapes and makes something happen.
Now back to the ground on the first down carry, and Grigsby crosses the 35-yard line, a gain of 4. So the Bombers putting together their best offensive series of the football game. Remember, they did not have a first down in the first half until inside the 3-minute warning.
They got about 18 minutes of this ball game to make something happen. This drive is looking pretty positive from starting deep in their own end.
10th play of the drive. Stands in and fires. It's complete to Nick Bourne's lost the football. Recovered by the Eskimos, but I believe they may rule this an incomplete pass. The officials are talking about it. Willis has got it. He, of course, had an interception earlier in the game for a touchdown. And we'll see if Moore had possession.
I think he comes down at plenty of time to come down both feet and almost turn up field, and ball comes out.
And Otha Foster got a hand in there.
It's a dig pattern or 7 route in the pattern tree.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovery by Edmonton. First down.
Now, is Michael O'Shea going to throw the challenge flag? He's 3-0 on challenges. He's got the flag in his hand. We'll have one more look at it on the scoreboard here. And O'Shea is talking to the spotter upstairs. He's got to make a decision here pretty quickly.
I'd tell him to keep it in his pocket.
Nothing yet. Still a 10-point lead for the Eskimos.
Who's going to win the game?
We are.
Team that plays the hardest or what? The hardest, the longest. Hardest, the longest. We told you it's going to be hot. Told you it's going to be hot. That's great. Who's the best conditioned team?
We are.
The strongest team?
We are.
Who's the fastest team?
We are.
Go out and get your damn win.
Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
I love it. Short, simple. I mean, I'm a big rah-rah guy when it comes to that. You know what you got to do. You put in the work. I know they condition. They condition together. The coaches, the players, every day they condition together for an hour. They lift together. And Jones, he lifts with them. Takes time, goes to the offense, and then he goes with the defense. And, I mean, they're creating a different culture there.
First down, play fake for Riley. And Riley again beats the first man. And he's bottled up after a gain of a couple. Now, you say they do a lot of things together. The one thing the players don't do with their head coach is go to the stadium with him. He shows up for work at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
and goes home around 9 o'clock at night.
Well, that shows you what this game, it sucks it right out of you. Everything you're willing to give to it, it'll take from you, and then some. But the players are taking his lead and the coach's lead because guys are getting there, getting up at 5:30, and they're showing up at 6:15 and 7 o'clock on a regular basis to get the extra work in.
Game was 5 at 2nd and 5. Riley swings it out. And the pass is caught, and off and running for the Eskimos is Kendall Lawrence, as Lawrence is pushed out of bounds at the 51-yard line, a 30-yard gain in his first reception of the game. And it may be coming back. There's a flag down in the Eskimo backfield. Edmonton was flagged 17 times last week in that win.
Illegal block downfield, I believe, Gord. Maybe.
Before yards were gained. Holding. Edmonton number 17. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, Shamad Chambers got a tongue lashing was head coach in the first half. Now a holding call wipes out a 30-yard gain.
Yeah, 17, Shamad Chambers. Wilfred Laurier, I'm not sure holding, he just kind of threw him down. I don't know if Johnny Sears is going to be able to get in the play anyways, but officials saw it one way, called it. Before the yards are gained, so they're taking him back 10.
It's a 40-yard swing. Now on second down, Riley throws underneath, has it Darius Bowman, but Bowman lost the football. He got tripped up, and the Bombers have it. So Bowman with the fumble, the Bombers with the recovery. Zach Anderson pounces on the football, and Bowman basically got run out of town here in Winnipeg for not being able to hang on to the football with a crucial fumble here.
Well, Eskimos have the right play called. Pressure into space. They got a slip screen. Got blockers out front. Got a nice tackle there.
And Devon Washington cut him out. Now hold on a second.
Well, it looks like the ground's causing a fumble right there.
So Jones has thrown the challenge flag. He's going to argue the runner is down by contact.
Jones is explaining it. He didn't believe it's a fumble. Good time to go get a cool beverage.
Well, this is a crucial challenge in the football game. It's Winnipeg football at the Edmonton 15 if the call of the field stands.
Yeah, and fitting.
The previous play is under review. We'll review the play.
Yeah.
So you believe this is not a fumble?
Well, I think the ground causes it. Certainly, I think he's securing the ball until he hits. I think the ball's secured there. Then when he hits the ground, it pops out. I don't think it's a fumble. And I think this is going back to Edmonton. But this is the type of play you need defensively from Winnipeg. You know, you need to turn around. Each offense has been struggling up until their last drive. The turnover stymies their drive. great field position, but I think it's going to be reversed.
Well, a pivotal moment in the football game with 1.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The home team held to 3 points so far in the football game.
Yeah, 38.3 point average on the year, and only 3 tonight tells you how stout that Edmonton defense really is.
And now referee Tom Valesi is talking things over with the CFL Command Center.
Another peek at it.
Now the common misconception is that you're ruled down when your knee touches the ground. That's not always the case.
No.
All right, so Valesi's had a look, and here's the call.
After review, the Edmonton player was down by contact. It'll be third down on the 20-yard line.
So Jones with a successful challenge.
That's a huge play.
And now O'Shea is up and arguing.
A huge call. And I think the right one. But if that's not overturned,
whoa,
Winnipeg has the ball there, chance more points on the board, momentum shifts, and we got us a ball game, but that's huge.
So still a defensive stand by the Bombers will force Edmonton to punt. Filigodino waiting at the 45-yard line for the kick from Grant Shaw. And Filigodino from the 50-yard line dives ahead for a couple, but the Bombers will have good field position late in the third quarter. We mentioned this is two 3-0 teams and two men who were across the hall from each other for a couple of years in Toronto. The staff with Scott Milanovich, and a couple of years ago in Toronto, it was O'Shea, the special teams coach, and Jones, the defensive coordinator, who were Grey Cup champions together in the 100th Grey Cup game.
Solid coaching staff. And Jones, he took like 5 of them from that squad with him to Edmonton. I told you he likes his folks, so he can guys he thinks he can trust. And took 5 coaches from the Toronto staff this past season.
First down from the 52-yard line for the Bombers. Here comes the rush. Willie with the pump fake is under pressure, gets it away. The flag is down. The pass is complete. As Grigsby makes the catch and gets about 8 of the play, but there is a flag down in the Winnipeg offensive backfield.
Odell Willis is coming in low, and I think that's
major foul called. Roughing the passer. Edmonton number 41.
And it will be Odell Willis.
First down.
They went low on Willie, and you know, guys are trying to scratch in the head, trying to figure it out defensively. Great spin move to the inside. Then he trips and kind of falls at his feet. Unfortunately for Odell Willis, that's misinterpreted. I don't think he was going there on purpose. He tripped and he grabbed an ankle, and big play for the Bombers regardless.
First down from the Edmonton 37-yard line. Really under pressure again, and this time just shovels it away. As he was being pressured there by Eddie Steele, it will be an incomplete pass. Willie's saying he got the ball away before play was called.
Yeah, he was just getting rid of it, and he says he's got a receiver in the area, which was Grigsby coming across the field, and he shuffled it out there close enough to him where the official's not going to throw the flag for intentional grounding. Again, pressure, breaking. It's jailbreak on Willie. Doesn't have much time, and he does a headsy job of maintaining some decent field position.
Instead of a loss of 10, it's now 2nd and 10. 3-man rush by the Eskimos. Willie, lots of time. Here comes Odell Willis. Look out, Willie throws. It's incomplete. It'll bring up third down, and a frustrated Willie remains on the Winnipeg sidelines as the field goal unit will come on for Winnipeg.
Yeah, I think Drew Willie's having troubles. I mean, obviously, Edmonton's defense. Look at Willis, diverse spot, having fun in this defense. Allows him to use his speed and his athletic ability, drops into coverage, and then has a beat on Willie and forces an errant pass.
For 2 weeks ago, Odell Willis with a controversial hit on Zach Collaros of the Hamilton Ticats.
And Zach is still not ready from that hit. And controversial one, but not in my opinion. He went high. You got to change the culture, and you got to change the target zone. Hamilton's still paying for that one.
Hit the upright. Iralahu with his first miss as a Canadian Football League kicker hits the upright. There's a flag down, however. Now it's 3rd and 10. There's a flag down on the far sideline. Now the Bombers are saying it's against Edmonton.
Offense is going on the field already.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Winnipeg number 13. 15-yard penalty, and that's the end of the third quarter.
Don Anova takes the penalty. And Liram Hairulahu just missed for the first time. 5 minutes of play. A big difference, of course, the turnovers. The one by Winnipeg of 2 resulted in a touchdown by Odell Willis. It really is the difference in the football game so far. Matt, we began this game talking about the 2 quarterbacks, Mike Riley and Drew Willie. Maybe we should be talking about 2 defensive coordinators, Chris Jones, the head coach for Edmonton, and Gary Etcheverry, the coordinator for Winnipeg.
They've taken it personally. They're going after each other, and they're causing all kinds of havoc for these young quarterbacks. None of them can find a bead out there, and they're trying everything. It's like they're running out of noodles throwing at the refrigerator to see which one sticks offensively, because these defenses have the upper hand. Gary Etcheverry, Greg Peach, defensive end for the Bombers, calls him a genius. Says the flexibility and the accountability he gives us is fantastic. Loves playing here in Winnipeg. Gary Etcheverry's defense.
Here's John White on the first down carry, and a gain of 3 on the play as the Eskimos begin at their own 40-yard line. Edmonton will be home to Calgary next week. Winnipeg has back-to-back on the road, starting at BC next week. Saskatchewan is off this week with the bye. Tomorrow, Ottawa plays its home opener against Toronto.
8 years anticipation for that one to happen. That's going to be fun in the nation's capital.
Now on 2nd and long. Lots of time for Riley. Still trying to find someone open. Now he wants to run. Riley puts his head down. He got away again from the first wave as he bounced off Teague Sherman. He's about 1.5 yards short, though, of an Edmonton first down. Now 79 yards rushing for Mike Riley.
There's absolutely nobody open in the secondary, and that is exactly why Mike Riley is running around and taking these type of shots, trying to move the chains and keep some type of momentum offensively. People are shut down. They're blanketed out there. There are people over the top. There are people, and Mike is looking around, and I guarantee these young quarterbacks are not going through the progressions. They're just trying to find an open guy. Their eyes are not right now. They're looking at the pressure as opposed to their reads and the progressions, and timing is thrown off, and you can see it. And that's all due to defensive pressure.
It's 3rd and 2. A direct snap for the Eskimos. It's Pat White, the third quarterback. He dives across the 50-yard line and should have an Eskimo first down. So the Eskimos have lined up Pat White on the punt cover team throughout the start of the season. He's always one of the upbacks, but now they direct snap to him, and there is the play. And the Eskimos get a first down out of it.
Absolutely, and talked to Mike O'Shea, who's a special teams guru before he got the head coaching job here, and got another one to design this, and Craig Dickinson for the Edmonton Eskimos. That's all he's done in the league, basically, is special teams, and Dickinson has been all over it. And O'Shea said, you know what? When you try special teams plays, you're known for that. You got a target on your back, and it's exactly what Dickinson just did. He flipped the tables and got what they consider one of the best special team coaches in the league, and Mike O'Shea's teams.
And now, after Pat White gets 3 on the gamble, John White slashes through the Winnipeg defense for a gain of 14 yards and another Edmonton first down.
Yeah, you know, we showed Dickinson on the sidelines there, and, you know, Craig doesn't get enough credit for what he's done with the special teams. He's executed an onside kick to perfection this year to Patrick Watkins. They ran a couple of fakes, got one there, got a first down, maintaining his drive. Mark Killam, we saw it last week with 121 yards, missed field goal return, had his team ready.
And here's White again with the carry, and White busts through the defense again. Here he comes, White, inside the 25, down the 23-yard line. And suddenly, John White, the second-year man out of Utah, asserts himself as the Eskimos march the ball down the field.
Yeah, and this is something the Eskimos have been doing more in the second half, is trying to establish the line of scrimmage, and John White just basically goes up through a lane, an alley, we'll call it, because the offensive line just gashed the defensive line of Winnipeg, and John White just picked his way through an alley and biggest play of the game for that young man.
Gain of 22. First down for the 24. Here he comes again. White finds another seam down to the 15-yard line, a gain of about 8.
Yeah, when it's not working, you don't have protection. Rely on those big boys, and they are big for the Edmonton Eskimos. An oversized, extra large offensive line. And I tell you, when they hit the training table goes, ouch! Those boys, when they start run blocking, good things will happen.
And Matt O'Donnell's in there now at right guard, 6'11", 340 pounds, number 66.
That's scary.
Now the fake to White. Riley looking for the corner, puts his head down again. And he's got a first down as Ejiro Kawali forced him out of bounds.
Ejiro Kawali brings bad intentions every time he's close to a ball carrier. This is a planned play design. Riley high steps, defender, and then edge. That don't even hit clean there, and the body parts are flying. That guy, if I'm a quarterback, I know where number 1 is on the field at all times because he is one fierce defensive player.
Riley's creeping up on 100 yards rushing tonight.
Quite a few quarterbacks in Edmonton history have gotten 100 yards rushing forward. Tracy Ham, Damon Allen.
You to the end zone, incomplete, and Fred Stamps built it at the end of that play by Damon Washington. A flag in the end zone and a flag late when Riley was hit. So we may have double fouls here. Fred Stamps got nailed in the end zone at the end of that play. And Mike Riley took a shot when he threw it as well.
We have 2 major fouls on the play. Roughing the passer, Winnipeg number 92, and unnecessary roughness, Winnipeg number 7. We'll go up half the distance twice, and it'll be first down.
That's Bryant Turner on roughing the quarterback, and Damon Washington.
Yeah, Bryant Turner's right here, and he's going to crawl his way to the quarterback, and this is a tough one. Boy, as a defender, you're just trying to get there, and he kind of falls into the laps of Riley, and the flag's thrown, and here's the other end of the play. Stamps coming across the middle, and that's late. I don't know, Damon Washington, that's a pretty tough one. That's tough either way. I know it's called consistently by our
Objectionable
officials.
conduct. Edmonton number 85. 10-yard penalty, be first and 10.
Now Nate Kuhorn gets called for objectionable conduct, so the ball was going to be at the 4. And Kuhorn takes the penalty. It's back out to close to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, Gord, I got to think this got to be in retaliation for his teammate and what he thought was a late hit by Damon Washington. We're looking for it. But Stamps is still down in the end zone, taking a tough shot from Damon Washington.
10:21 to go in the fourth quarter. The CFL on TSN returns to Winnipeg after 2 on the Edmonton sideline, but a hellacious hit from Damon Washington right here drew a second 15-yard penalty, and then after Stamps was down, Nate Kuhorn took a 10-yarder for objectionable conduct. So the end result is it's first down Edmonton at the Winnipeg 13-yard line. Riley has lots of time, looks at the end zone, wide open, touchdown! A.J. Guyton. And he throws the ball in the end zone. That's going to be another penalty for objectionable conduct. But Guyton doesn't care. It's his first CFL touchdown catch. A 13-yard score.
Well, this noodle's stuck on the refrigerator, I can tell you that. There was a bust in the coverage on the back end. Nobody goes with Guyton as he run the corner route. Mike Riley has his eyes right this time, and the time and protection. Delivers a strike to wide open A.J. Guyton in the back of the end zone.
First-year man from Central Florida, the 23-year-old has a touchdown catch. And the Edmonton Eskimos are 10 minutes away from equaling their win output from last season in the first 4 weeks of the season. That was a 9-play, 70-yard drive. And Shaw puts the point after, up and through. 17-point lead as Mike Riley hooks up with A.J. Guyton for the touchdown.
guess you can do that offensively.
Yeah, so Odell Willis got one in the first half, but with the CFL having each team using its own footballs, look out! Paris Cotton lost the football again.
Check Paris' eyes. Check Paris' eyes.
And now another flag comes down late at the end of the play. So this season in the Canadian Football League, each team uses its own footballs for offensive series.
Oh, it's unbelievable, the process.
So Odell Willis threw one into the stands, but you can't throw the other team's football in the stands.
Yeah, so defensively, you get a pick six. You can't celebrate and chunk the ball in the stands because it's the other team's ball. Here's a look at it.
Illegal block.
He gets one handed to him.
Winnipeg number 49. Half the distance
Goes to
to
the end zone.
First down.
Do a little celebration and chunks it. Now that's a penalty. Now Gayton, he's an offensive player. This is his own ball, but he can do what he wants with it, and he can give it away. And no penalty there. That's kind of a quirk in the rule, but I tell you, you talk to the ball boys that come out here and have to control the process. You have to be on top of it because there's all kinds of switching going on with the footballs out there.
And they're marked, so it says Winnipeg football. So in the block against the Bombers.
Kicking balls, offensive balls. Yeah, defensive, that's great.
From the 7, Willie's under pressure, gets away, and Drew Willie winds his way out to the 15-yard line for a gain of 8. But the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have been held to a field goal so far in the football game. Did not have a first down until very late in the first half. And only 9 first downs total in the game thus far. Last year, of course, was a miserable year for Winnipeg. There are 25 offensive categories in the CFL statistically. They were last in 14 of them.
Okay, Gord, that's piling on.
That's a penalty. Willie got away from the first wave, but he cannot escape the clutches of the second man as it's dual somersaults as Willie Jefferson
that was
in for the sack along with Odell Willis.
That was choreographed.
Yeah, how about that?
That was sweet. A little celebration. Watch the D-line. They've been working on this. A little extra time after practice. They get to the quarterback, and they're going to show you a little synchronized somersault going on right here. Whoop! There they go. That's crazy.
So now, Irelahu has to punt from his end zone. And Jamal Miles waits at the 50. Miles from the 45-yard line, had a head of steam, waiting for the wall to get set up, gets around the corner. The flag comes down, and Miles brought down about the 35-yard line. Now another late flag as
Louis Richardson.
Louis Richardson was tangling with one of the Eskimos. It looked like it was Eli Ngoyi. So there's 2 flags on the play.
We're a team right here. We're a team. Let's go. We're a team, baby.
Team somersault.
Yeah. So multiple fouls on the play with 8:19 to go. Here's the call.
We have offsetting unnecessary roughness calls. 55 Edmonton and 52 Winnipeg. We'll offset those penalties. Will be first down.
On a night that has belonged to the defenses, why not celebrate a little bit? The Eskimos are rolling.
Yeah, I tell you.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Eli,
I love y'all. What's up, Vicky?
He's all smiles now, but right here at the bottom of your screen, watch what entices Louis Richardson. Watch this. Pop! He popped him right under the jaw, knocked his helmet off. Louis gets his helmet back on, and then retaliates, and that's where the penalty came. I think somebody's going to need a little light in their wallet later on this week.
Eskimos start the Winnipeg 41-yard line. Play fake to John White, and Mike Riley's going to take it. Riley's still going. Dives down about the 27-yard line, and Mike Riley is just shy of 100 yards. And limping a little bit as he gets up.
He's just sucking him in. He's just getting started.
Gain was 13 on the play. He's got 95 yards rushing on the night.
Come on, Mike. Quit messing around.
How many 100-yard rushing games did you have?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. I know I paled in comparison to the other 2 guys I was talking
Damon
about.
Allen and Tracy Ham.
Damon and Tracy. I think Tracy rushed like, I don't know, 9,000 yards. Damon was like 12 grand. I only had 5. But hey, this kid, it comes naturally to him. I think it's his knee there. Kind of fell on it funny.
Well, and that's the concern, of course, right? And that's the issue, is that when your quarterback does run that much.
Oh, well, I don't care who you are. If your quarterback, running back, the hits that he's taking tonight, your energy bar is going to be extremely low by the end of the evening. Yeah, he's a warrior. He likes to play this game. It's not just playing quarter. He's playing football. He's playing kill the guy with the ball in the front yard with his buddies, and he's having fun. He gets down to the grassroots level of, I think, why we all kind of like the game, is just having fun, out dueling your friends in the front yard. This guy has a visceral approach to the game, and I think people can feel it. They can associate with it, and it is tough on your body. No question.
Jesse Dunn is the injured Winnipeg Blue Bomber. He got nailed by John White on the play.
And this may be a little payback. Oh, that's what White does. That's what he does. He may not be big stature, but boy, he packs a punch.
Well,
watch him roll the shoulder.
Is that helmet to helmet?
That's a good question.
That's helmet to helmet, is it not?
That's a good question. We'll take a peek at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he got up. Hey, if that's not, then Odell Willis's wasn't 2 weeks ago on Zach Galeris. That was a helmet to helmet shot that was not seen there. I like the aggressiveness, but you can't go up top. I don't care if you're an offensive player and a defensive player, and an offensive player. That's not allowed.
First down, the give to White goes nowhere. Zach Anderson once again in to make the stop. Time ticking down on the Bombers here, are down by 17, a loss of 3 on the play for Edmonton.
Time of possession just seems to be going again in the second half to the Edmonton Eskimos. It seems like they've had the ball the entire time.
So much excitement here in Winnipeg. The Bombers 3-0 after 3-15 last year. But they have run into headwinds at home tonight. Need a stop here on 2nd and 13. Here comes the rush. Riley throws to the end zone. Incomplete for Darius Bowman. Riley stood in there and took a shot on the play as he's hit by Don Anumba. It will be 3rd down, Edmonton.
Can't do anything other than this. I mean, Riley stands in there and delivers on the back end.
Ooh, that was catchable.
Yeah, that's a ball should have been caught. Game over. But put on the ground. That's a catchable ball. I ask any pro receiver if he thinks he should put that ball in, he said, heck yeah.
Now Shaw with a field goal try from the 38.
We've seen that guy make better catches than that.
And Shaw puts it up and through, so the Eskimos now open up a 23-point lead here in the 4th quarter. On TSN, Tiger Woods in the chase as well. Chris Jones, you see, still calls the defenses for Edmonton as the head coach. It's common for coaches with an offensive background to do double duty as the coordinator and the head coach. Less common for people who have a defensive background. Now Willie with a play fake. And Elmondo Sewell along with Willie Jefferson with the tackle. Jefferson another somersault at the end of making that tackle. It's not a sack, however, after a gain of a couple.
This will be one of those videos you go back and watch. Tough to watch, but a lot of learning is going to go on for this young quarterback in the Winnipeg Blue Bomber offense.
Here comes the rush again from Willis. And he's sacked again by Jefferson. And here they go again.
Well, they're having fun, and why not? You're somebody's backyard, and you've been putting it to them the entire game, and now you're just rubbing salt in the wound. It's got to feel good for this team moving to 4-0 when all of last year they had 4 wins combined.
And they got their 4th win on the final weekend of the regular season.
Hard fought.
Edmonton didn't have 3 wins last year in mid-September. Jamal Miles up to the 40-yard line on the kick return. And the Eskimos will maintain possession with 5.5 to go in the 4th quarter. This has been a remarkable defensive performance by the Edmonton Eskimos. They were the easiest team in the league to run on last year by a lot. They averaged 145 yards against in rushing yards. That was 40 more than any other team.
That's not good enough. That is not good enough. Indicative of why they struggled. One of the reasons why they struggled. They turned it around this year.
White remains in the backfield. Takes the first down carry, ran into Fred Stamps, who's back in the game for Edmonton.
That's a good sign.
And White gets a 5-yard gain up to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, you don't want to lose somebody like Stamps. I thought it was just a getting the wind knocked out of him situation in the end zone. I think I was right. But that's good to see.
It's actually a 4-yard gain up to the 44.
That's a tough 4 yards.
Edmonton's won 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams. Won both last year, including one in overtime.
You know, you talk about Edmonton's defense last year getting rushed on. You know, one of the thought process about attacking Gary Etcheberry's defense for Winnipeg and his style of play is to run the football. And that's what Edmonton's been able to do more in the second half.
Riley got away from Teague. Sherman again throws it over the top. It's complete. And jumping ahead is Shamad Chambers, who gets down to the 23-yard line. So Mike Riley is giving Teague Sherman nightmares on that Winnipeg defense.
And he helped.
Chambers thought he should have a touchdown.
And he helps himself. Watch Riley get on the edge, straight arm there to get out on the corner past Teague Sherman. Then he flips his hips. Kind of tries to spot one out there. Chambers could turn and run. He loses his footing after a big gain.
39-yard gain on the play. And it's a first down for Edmonton at the Winnipeg 27. And the stadium is emptying out. White, the first down carry, finds a sliver of daylight and gets a gain of 4.
Yeah, I think it's been the key for Edmonton to settle down offensively in the second half and establish that line of scrimmage and let those big boys run. Rely on that defense for field position. Let those big boys eat up front and run at a Gary Etcheberry defense. Kind of got him. Fourth quarter alone, Edmonton's had the ball for almost 9 minutes. That Winnipeg's just under 3 minutes of play. So have the football, keep away from the opposition. It's a good way to keep him out of the end zone.
Riley throws and Benton with the catch. And Benton, who has the lone offensive touchdown of the game for Edmonton, dives ahead. The Eskimos have put together a couple of long drives that didn't result in touchdowns, but they did chew a lot of time off the clock. So Chris Jones is going to go to 4-0 as the head coach of the Edmonton Eskimos in his first season on the sidelines. And Grant Shaw's been a busy man tonight. 3 for 3 so far. Late substitution. The Eskimos are going to have to take a penalty. Move back 5 yards.
Are you talking
time
about
count violation? Edmonton number 16. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
This is the point in the season, Matt, where coaches are saying that you will now really get a bead on what kind of team you have. Only 2 preseason games in the Canadian Football League. So the Edmonton Eskimos have a pretty good idea. They might have something going. Up big in Winnipeg as we hit the 3-minute warning. Now Grant Shaw, after the penalty, will try a field goal from the 35-yard line. Matt Nichols in the hole. And Shaw puts it through, so he's 4 for 4 on the night.
Kind of worked the draw there, a little right to left action, hooked it around the left goalpost. We talk about that game coming up, Hamilton at Calgary. Jeremiah Masoli making his first start in that contest. Looking forward to watching that kid play, get an opportunity in the absence of Zach Collaris.
Tough place to make your CFL debut against that defense in that stadium.
You know, you talk about defense, which we've done a lot here tonight. Some solid defenses around the league. I don't care if you're Montreal, you know, Toronto. You look at Calgary. These two out here tonight, solid. BC, they'll round out in form. Solid defenses around the league. Saskatchewan.
There's Drew Willie now with a little screen pass. And not much doing there for Griggs. As
They're
Nick
trying
Grigsby got
everything.
dragged down there. So you'll see a lot of Charleston Hughes tomorrow night.
Yes. Yes, he will.
As do most CFL quarterbacks.
Oh my gosh, the guy's been feasting. Last week it was like deja vu, and he and Ricky Ray. I thought Ray was down when Charleston caught up to him on the backside. Good to see him get up. Charleston is a demon on the field.
Willie throws over the middle, and Denmark had to watch out over the middle as Dexter McCoyle was coming.
Yeah, come on. This is not one you want to watch tomorrow. This is more salt in the wounds. You got to secure this one. Quarterback's hanging tough, trying to make throws, hard to come by. You got to squeeze this. I know it's no man's land around. That looks like a helmet-to-helmet, too. This happened right there in a defenseless receiver.
This is the 10th time in the game that the Winnipeg offense has gone 2 and out. Great punt by Iralalu. Now a misplay there by Niles. And Jamal Myers fortunate to recover the football and go out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So a 59-yard punt by Liram Iralalu. And here's the evening that Mike Riley's had tonight.
It wasn't pretty, but it was physical. And Riley brought on a lot of it by himself. Some preservation, just the will to move the chains, make something happen because it wasn't really happening for him in the air. Made some nice throws, spot on right here to Guyton in the middle of the end zone, wide open, busted coverage. Riley hanging tough, showing you his tenacity, what he's made of, moving to 4-0.
He's got 30 more rushing yards in the game than anyone else. Although White will chew into that total here as he busts across the 30-yard line. And John White is an emerging factor for the Edmonton Eskimos. He scored 1 touchdown for them last year in limited duty.
You like what you see in this guy. Just well-rounded.
Shaken up in training camp. Made his season debut last week. 15 carries for 99 yards.
129 total yards from scrimmage. 3 catches for 30 yards in the air. And the most impressive thing about all those numbers was his blocking.
Well, it was 20 years ago this week that your Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Edmonton Eskimos got in that great shootout, the 713-yard passing game you had. This time around, Edmonton comes in and just chokes the life out of this football game.
Yeah. Flipped the script defensively. You knew one of these defenses would step up and something had to break offensively. And it was the Bombers' offense that never got on track due to the pressure applied by that Edmonton defense led by Chris Jones, bringing his style that everybody's bought into.
First down, and here's White again slashing ahead. Another first down as he crosses the 45-yard line.
He's about 10 more to get past Riley. He heard you. Lost his helmet. Wow.
He's listed at 5'8", 190 pounds.
Slashing through that.
One of those running backs who's built like a fist.
Yeah, and you know that defense is dog tired because they've been out there all night.
Final minute now in the fourth quarter. White little stutter step, dives out close to the 50-yard line for a gain of 3. So our TSN decision desk will call it in favor of the Edmonton Eskimos, and now it sets up as a fascinating matchup next week when Edmonton is home to the Stampeders. The Bombers will fall to 3-1. Saskatchewan with the bye this week at 1-2, and BC at 1-2 will play host to Winnipeg next week.
That seems like a big hole awfully quick for some teams that weren't expected to be in a hole start of the season. I mean, 4-0, and you got a couple teams at 1-2 in the West. That's a big hole all of a sudden.
Shovel pass falls incomplete, trying to find Kendall Lawrence. Well, remember the last time BC played host of the Grey Cup in 2011, they started 0-5.
Yeah, so they're ahead of the curve.
Went on to win the game.
They're ahead of the curve. And everybody takes that lead to it. And when you talk about streaks, people refer to that season 2011 led by Travis Lulay.
Yeah.
Tremendous finish to that season, and hosting and winning the Grey Cup in their own backyard. Other teams have taken solace if they have poor starts and stretches that, hey, you know what? They can refer back to the 2011 squad of BC Lions and kind of regroup. You know it can happen.
Washington fields that ball at the 25-yard line as flags fly. Now some pushing and shoving breaks out. Of course, it's a couple of years ago that Winnipeg and Edmonton had that nasty brawl at the end of a game. There's always been hard feelings between these two.
You look at it. Zach Anderson there had a good football game, dog tired. There's two guys defensively. Armando Sewell.
Edmonton number 46. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Those guys. We talked about it briefly. We talked about, you heard Coach talking about conditioning.
Yeah.
The Edmonton Eskimos look like a well-conditioned football team.
It's a hot
paid
night
off for them tonight.
It's a hot night here tonight.
Yeah. Not to say Winnipeg's not. Just Edmonton looks on point.
Now Willie. Throws it underneath. Grigsby has it. And busts up to the 45-yard line. A flag comes out at the end of that play as well. We've been an average of 25 flags a game so far. Chris Jones is coaching right to the end.
Well, it's early. Got to get it right. Because these are the type of plays.
Holding. Winnipeg number 80. After yards were gained. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Scenarios, coaching moments. Got to get it right because you don't know in tight ball games whether or not those mistakes will cost you.
Brett Carter called for holding.
Winnipeg rifle, getting an opportunity to get some playing time right here.
So the Bombers had that dramatic comeback win last week in Montreal, return home and get held to a single field goal. Here comes the rush again. Willie Jefferson got in. Willie has time, a pump fake. And he gets dragged down as he gets chased on the play by the Eskimos' Gregory Alexander.
Yeah, phenomenal job by that man tracking down Drew Willie, staying with him.
That's the 5th sack of the game on Willie. And so this should be the final play of the game and not a moment too soon for the home team. And Willie shovels it. And Paris Cotton gets loose. Gets brought down at midfield, and that'll end it as the battle of the two unbeaten teams goes decisively to the Edmonton Eskimos, who record a 26-3 win here in Winnipeg.
Gord, I look at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers hosting the Eskimos today, and a lot of hype about the young quarterback handling situations. He'll learn from this and he'll get better. Defense was decimated towards the end of the ball game on the field much too long. I credit that to the Edmonton Eskimos coming here as a well-conditioned, on-point football team that took care of business and moves to 4-0.
Two first-year head coaches, two former teammates in Toronto. Chris Jones gets the edge on. Good night from Winnipeg.